Let's do some swatches and create some looks using the I Heart Revolution pizza palette. Hey, it's Amanda. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome back to my channel. But if it's your first time here and you enjoy beauty hauls, unboxings, first impressions, reviews, and more, you've come to the right place to hit subscribe for new videos weekly. I saw these really cute I Heart Revolution palettes in Ulta and I was like, I gotta get it. The packaging is super cute. Recently, packaging hasn't been the reason why I purchased some items. They also have an avocado palette as well as the chili palette. Now, I'm not sure if I Heart Revolution is like a spin-off of the Makeup Revolution brand. Let me know in the comments if it is. They also have like the cute little quad donut palettes as well as these really cute highlighters. Smash that like if you want to see an avocado and chili review as well. If you're interested in seeing what the swatches, the looks that I create, and my thoughts on the tasty pizza palette, just keep on watching. Let's open up this palette. It kind of reminds me of pizza. I'm looking at the silver shade going, where do I have that on pizza? Like if my pizza goes bad? Or is it blue cheese or ranch? Definitely an interesting color story for a pizza palette. I'm gonna try to create a couple looks. That way I can get an idea of how the shades perform. Let's start with some swatches. This is what the first three shades look like. The matte and the two shimmers both felt really soft and creamy. Mozzarella, slice, Chicago. The matte and the two shimmers, all three of them had pigment throughout the entire swatch and they felt really nice to the touch. So I hope that translates well when I dip my brush into the pan and apply on my eye. And I hope that the pigment payoff and the blendability are also really good. Calzone, pepperoni, margarita. So far, I really like how these are swatching. Go on ahead and remove this first row. Wow, look at that. There's a little bit of staining going on. Pigment come through. Hawaiian, Primo, Need. These two mattes, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of kickback, potentially some fallout when you dip your brush in, just because there is a little bit of little chunks throughout the swatch. One thing to note, Neapolitan is a little bit chunkier than the two shimmers next to it. Deep dish, extra cheese, Neapolitan. Love those last three shades. Marinara was also very similar to the chunky silver shade Neapolitan from the second row. Saucy, olive, marinara. Olive had a lot of kickback when I dipped into it. Stuffed crust, stone baked dough. This is the third row. Right off the bat, every single shade, whether if it was matte, shimmer, or a chunky shimmer, they all had pigment throughout the entire swatch. I liked how these shades felt on my fingers. I really hope it translates well when I dip my brush into the pans and blend these shades out. I think I'm gonna go for a couple different looks. There's a lot of fun shades in this palette, although it's not very pizza-y. I would think maybe adding some green. I mean, I guess extra cheese is like the green shade, but I was thinking more of like a Kelly green for more of like the green onions or the green peppers. Let me know what shades you think that they're missing in this palette. Also, it would have been nice. I know blue really isn't pizza, but I like that shade on that packaging, so I was kind of expecting maybe a blue to be here, but blue would probably be a bad sign in your pizza anyway. I am gonna prime with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. Now that we are nice and primed, I'm gonna take another Wet n Wild brush and dip into the shade Dough, but I'm just gonna place this all over where we primed just so it's nice and set. Reminds me of the one shade I like to set the base with in the Morphe 35H palette. On a Lexi 205 taper blending, let's take the shade Pepperoni. The shade is really screaming at me. A little bit of kickback, nothing too bad. Ooh, wow, that pigment. We're just gonna place this on the crease with back and forth motions. So it's pigmented, but it also allows you to build up so it's not bam pigment, so you have more control with it. That's my preference when it comes to eyeshadows, just because it's easier to build it up than try to backpedal out and try to salvage your look. Speaking of pizza, Gryffindor makes really good pizza bagels. We've had it twice for dinner this week. I'm obsessed. I really liked how pepperoni blended out. I'm living for this. And then on Lexi 235 blending, I want to take the shade Stone Baked and kind of just round and deepen the outer V. I brought it up a little bit in the crease. Taking the Makeup Revolution cut crease base, I'm going to take an Alomar brush to cut the crease. And then on a BH Cosmetics brush, I'm going to dip into the shade Slice. It's not picking up well. Maybe this will be a shade I just use my finger. Not the best at this because I'm not really familiar with that technique, but we got it on. Also want to take a little bit of calzone and kind of mix it right here. How do you guys use your fingers on applying shades? Because I am struggling. I'm going to take my Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in the shade 0 for my waterline. And then on a Luxie 221 flat definer, I'm going to take Pepperoni and we're going to smoke it out for the lower lash. On a Morphe E36, I'm going to take the shade Neapolitan. Spray some MAC Fix and inner corners. Yes! Mamma mia! We have a pizza look. Really liked how these shades blended out. Granted, I did have to use my finger in the shade Slice and Calzone. I did struggle a little bit placing where exactly I wanted the shimmer. I feel limited with like the mattes that I can go in the crease with because there's so many more fun shimmer shades, but I have Stone Baked, Olive, and Pepperoni. Maybe Margarita, which is okay. It's not like the most ooh shade. It's more of a transition shade. Pigmented and it's going on nice. It's funny, I just feel like I don't use transition shades much anymore. I just dive on in. Blending out very similarly to Pepperoni. Good consistency amongst the two mattes. On the Luxie 235 blending, I want to take Stone Baked to deepen and round out my lid a little bit more. Also trying to start rounding out the outer V. I know it looks like doo-doo for now. And then on a Morphe E14, I'm going to dip into the shade Extra Cheese. Ooh, yes. Look at that pigment. And then I do want to take some MAC Fix. Oh, yes. We got grungy pizza vibes over here. I'm going to take 0 again for the waterline. And then on the Luxie 221 flat definer, I'm going to take the shade Olive to smudge the lower lash. In addition to grungy pizza, I also have fall vibes. And then on the Morphe E36, I'm going to dip into Marinara and see how it looks on the inner corner. And then, of course, MAC Fix. These chunkier glitters need to be built up. I'm really digging green, brown, grungy shades in some looks recently. I really want to dig into that avocado palette next. Let's do one more look. I still have some ideas floating in my head, so might as well make this a 3 looks 1 palette video. Just like looks 2 and 3, we are primed with the ABH primer and set with the shade Dough. I'm going to take this BH Cosmetics brush and dip into the shade Hawaiian. I had more kickback and fallout than most of the other mattes we have used. Ooh, I like that mustardy yellow. Yellow is also a shade I have not played around much with. And then on this Luxie eye shading, I'm going to dip into the shade Chicago. And we're just going to take it on the outer third. Yeah, there's some fallout with this shade too, but it's stunning. And also the inner third. And then on the Luxie 209 large shading, Torn. Let's take this spicy shade. Okay, maybe not. Let's spray some MAC Fix so we can make it over Chicago. Okay, this shade needs to be built up. It's probably another good one for the finger, but I'm gonna be stubborn and work through it. With no additional product, I'm going back in with that Luxie 213 just to make sure that Chicago and spicy are nice and blended. Also, I'm gonna clean up this fallout on my face. Again, I'm gonna take some 0 eyeliner, and then I think I'm gonna go back in with Pepperoni for the lower lash. Why not? Kind of matches the inner halo part. And then on the Morphe E36, I really want to try stuffed crust in the inner corner. MAC Fix. So this look doesn't even really need inner corners. I just wanted to. This is the pizza has gone bad in the fridge look. I really enjoyed this palette. Only shade I kind of ran into issues with were Spicy and Slice. Slice I had to use my finger, and Spicy really had to be built up. I think there are still more looks than the 3 I've created. I definitely can't wait to dip back in because there were some shades I didn't use. Mozzarella, Primo, or Needs. I feel like I used a decent amount of shades to get an idea of this palette. I really liked how all 3 looks turned out. All 3 were different, and I think for $15 you can't beat that price point. The pan sizes are decent. The pigmentation and the blendability of these shades are also really good. I love how the names are printed on the palette instead of on the stupid plastic that gets thrown away. And yes, the packaging is super cute too. Let me know if you plan on picking up any of these I Heart Revolution palettes. What other products have you picked up by I Heart Revolution? Now I'm curious about the donut quads. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in the next video.